Here we go, guys. There is no hesitation, no bucking. There's no dead spot. Driving like it's almost a new vehicle. We got a couple different things going on today. One, the Jeep has not been gone off the channel for very long and it's back. So we're gonna talk about that in a minute. Two, we're actually working on this thing, finally. And Greg, yeah, oh nice. So we cleaned up, Greg cleaned up the V6 and V8 engine mounts and put them on. They're pretty self-explanatory, just a couple good bolts. We had got those used offline. Somebody had sent them to us, or we bought them or something, I don't remember. But V6 and V8s are the same mounts, and for the LS swap, the 4-cylinder mounts don't work. Either version, the 96 or 95 and below. So those look good, and they're in line. And we actually got the short block kind of reset up. Greg and I, Greg gapped the rings, and then we reassembled it and wound up putting a new set of rod bearings in the whole thing. That was a long story. We got it figured out. We learned some things, is what I'm going to say on that one. But now Greg is messing with, oh man, sweet. It's got 2 gaskets on it.
Yep, front and back.
Nice. Well, there we go. It's kind of cool. All right, while he cleans up in the oil pan, let me show you guys what I got going on the Jeep. So I actually have been driving this a little bit. I know you guys probably haven't seen it, and I haven't shown a driving video, but I've been fighting with this carburetor. And what I've come to find out is, if you guys can watch in this area down here, I'm going to hit the accelerator a few times. And there it goes. See all that? See that dripping? The throttle shaft is leaking pretty good. So I've got a vacuum leak and a fuel leak and some other things that's just not great. So I have went postal on this thing and ordered a WEBER conversion kit from eBay. And it was not cheap. It was not cheap. But it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to pull off the carburetor at the minimum. I'm debating if I should pull off the whole intake and exhaust manifold and replace the gasket, because I got a pretty gnarly exhaust leak when it's warm. So I don't know if I'm going to do all that. Since you guys have last seen this, I have put a new metal filter on that has a bypass, or a return to the tank. Because the other one that I had seemed to be building too much pressure up, so we're returning that down to the tank now. And I put a new fill pump on it too, because the old one was no bueno. So a couple updates here, and I'll yank that carb off in a minute, and we'll start looking at what it takes to put the WEBER on. But back to Gramps. We've got our first official turbo parts in on a project ever, as he's looking for the pieces for it. Let me show you guys. This is a fitting that goes inside the oil pan like that, and it has a sealing nut on this side, so or a sealing washer. So it's got this washer that's raised, it's thick, and it's got one for each side. So it just goes through the oil pan. It'll mate up against that surface that's flat. Come on this side. We'll throw a nut on it, and then that'll be good, and we can throw it back on the engine. And I think I didn't get to finish you guys on the 4.8. So this is a 4.8. We've come to find out it's very, very, very low mileage. The rods aren't even turned color. This thing is super clean. You can eat off of it. But we've got a new camshaft in it, a DOD delete kit. Good set of head gaskets from Brian Tooley Racing. They're the LS9 equivalent for a 5.3, 4.8 liter. We've got the rings gapped to 30 thousandths, right? I think.
30 up top, 28 bottom.
Okay, 30 up top, 28 at the bottom. We've got all new rod bearings in it. That's because we actually kind of messed something up when we were putting it together. We kind of nicked one, but that's okay. We learned, we got that done. So heads are torqued. Cam is in. Timing chain's on, new timing chain. We had the oil pan on, but we needed to put the bungs in. So Greg's working on that right now. And we're not far from putting this thing in. Plus, on top of that, Greg decided to take advantage of a special. And right here is a Jake's 4L80E Stage 3 4-speed transmission. So it's got all the good stuff in it. It doesn't have the billet shafts and things like that. We're just not there yet. We're not ready to spend that kind of money on it. But it's a brand new trans, and it came in. And we're not far from being able to kind of eventually put all this stuff in Gramps here. So we've got a couple things to do. But it's actually cool to be making some progress on it. So, all right, he's going to get that back on there. And I'm going to come over here and pull this carburetor off of this thing. All right, carb off. We're gonna have to figure out something else to do with the throttle and some other things. I've got to figure that out in a minute, but let's look at what we got in this carburetor conversion box. So I ordered this off of eBay. I don't remember the guy, I apologize, but it's a legitimate real Weber, so it was not the cheaper Asian version. Comes with some, I don't know, some fuel line. That's what the box looks like. Looks like these are the adapters for it. Air cleaner. A bunch of different plastic adapters over here. I guess we'll find out what all that does later. And then on this side you have the carburetor itself. It's a tiny little thing, and I know it's going to mount like this, and then the throttle goes this way. It's about all I know so far. And well, I gotta figure out what goes where, because I don't have the faintest idea. But there's instructions in the kit, so that's what I'm gonna look up. The more hose, more adapter linkage. So not too bad overall. I've got the instructions somewhere, and if you want to know what model it is the 3236, and got your order procedure of things here, and yeah, Let me get the reading. Guys, some of this is somewhat intuitive, but some of it's not. The first thing you have to do is, out of these three gaskets, figure out the one that best fits the original gasket. Well, I have the original gasket, so all I did was lay it over. That's going to fit the best. Anyway, you find out your base gasket. You have your base flange. They have these countersunk bolts that we're going to use. Then you take the gasket with the perimeter bolts. It looks pretty similar. You put it in place. Then you take the beveled side, goes up, so you have an indentation there. You use your small little screws to mount everything together. And then you put your studs in all four corners. After you're done with all that, there is a, where did it go? Vacuum ported valve thing that you put in. And then you throw all this down on the intake manifold. Now we got to do the first part first because it mounts the intake manifold under all the gaskets. So make sure you just put that part on first and drop your bolts. It's not too difficult. We're going to do what the instructions say. So I did find, remember, we found the gasket, the base gasket that fits the best. But what it says is use a little grease, and I get why they say that. They don't want you using RTV. But this helps make a really good seal on the base. It's a fluid seal. And there we go. A little bit of grease. A little bit of grease. Why not continue that faction with this as well? All right. And our flanged nuts. It says torque to 12 foot-pounds. Here we go. You ready? That's 12. Promise. And more grease again. It really recommends the grease. So why don't we just go for it and do what it says. Some more grease. Then this gasket, because it's got the 4 opposing mounting holes. And then the beveled edge goes up because we need those bolts need to sink down in there. Now we're just throwing these studs in. I'll get them tightened down by hand. So check this out. It's kind of cool. It's a stepped butterfly setup. This one's smaller than this one. There's 2 gaskets that come with this kit. One that's even. And then there's one that is narrowed. And because of this, we're going to use the narrowed one to account for it. Now the linkage is going to go on this side, so I'm trying to figure out the orientation of that gasket. Skinny Venturi or butterfly or whatever is facing the engine, so now I know. All right, skinny, smaller section goes towards the valve cover. Larger section goes towards the fender, and then the carburetor goes on. Nice. Then I believe this linkage piece goes right here like that. Now I just got to throw 4 bolts on. Nuts. 4 nuts on. And then we're close to cooking here. Alright, we just had to do some fabricator status stuff to the oil pump pickup. Put a little dent in it here because all pickup tubes or returns for the turbos are kind of barely hitting this. So clearanced it a little. Let's see if it fits. We already got it back in place. Dun, 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 dun. Here comes the verdict. Seems like it's still hitting pretty good.
We may have to,
Yeah, we're half
yeah, we're gonna have to
quarter of an inch off of there.
Yeah, we're gonna
Have to do something.
no.
Not sure how much more we can get out of that. Verdict is, hey, it's on there. You got a bolt in?
No,
But you can definitely get one in. Looks like it.
Yep.
Sweet. Now, hopefully, you can still drain past that, but it just drips, so there's no really pressure. Right? I don't think so. Well, no, right away, because one side will smoke.
Yeah. Blow turbo.
All right, what'd you do? So we got some engineering done on the dipstick tube. He slotted the hole over here so we can slide it a little bit that way, and we clearance the bolt right there. Still works.
Oh,
All right,
fab shop.
Fab Shop. Here we go. Fabricator at Racer X Garage. That's Greg's new email. Not really, but it could be. Nice. So that worked out. Was worried about that not working out. And then carburetor's on. Access to that one over there, not real easy. The nut that holds it on, but the rest of them I could get with a 1/4 inch ratchet, a wobbler, and a 1/2 inch socket. So got that on. I'm probably at a stopping point, but it's looking good. Now it's just kind of hooking up everything else and figuring out the linkage, because I don't have factory linkage hooked up to this at the moment. So I'm going to have to look into that and figure out what is going to be the best approach, which I don't know what's going to be yet. I think I'm going to have to install the original linkage, which goes under these bolts right here, I believe. I think. I'm not 100% sure. But I got to look into that and kind of do some research. So once I figure that out, I'll get that all buttoned up and give you an update on that one, and then where everything else goes. Like, I'm pretty sure this is the fuel line, right? And I think I can change it to this side, which is nice. I could just swap those two out. That way I can get it coming in on here. I think this is PVC valve. I think this would be for power brakes, but I'm just going to cap it off if it is. But I'm not 100% sure yet, so don't quote me. I don't know. We'll research back to you. You know, that's what we do. So, here's the situation, or something. I've probably saved you guys about 12 hours of agony, because I fought with this carburetor for the last day and a half, half day, something like that. A couple hours for sure after we installed it. However, that was because I overlooked something, and that something was not on the instruction sheet. So I'm gonna claim ignorance. But let's look at it. We'll kind of go over everything. You have a screw here. This is your fast idle screw. So this is what adjusts your idle when the carb is cold and the choke is activated. We've got our fuel line hooked up. This is our return. I've got this capped off right here. This is just like a vent line. This is my distributor line, which goes to the vacuum line on the front. Then there's one behind it that's just capped off that usually goes to the EGR valve. My EGR is blocked off. I've got all the linkage hooked up. We just kind of took some looking at it and figuring out how things go. Got everything tight. But this guy right here, this little spring, was actually in a bag. And because I didn't have it hooked up, and it doesn't work like that, when it would run, it would turn on to fast idle and leave it on until I picked it up manually with my finger. Didn't figure out I could pick it up until this morning, but it was basically idling at about 3,000 RPM, and I couldn't get it to fix itself. Also couldn't tune the carburetor. So, after figuring out I can pick that up this morning and get it to go on the main idle circuit, Greg realized, hey, that thing's got a hook, and there's a post up here, and so he's like, I bet there's a spring, and he was right. So, the spring is in your bag. If you're looking at watching this video for a WEBER install and everything, make sure it has the spring on it. That's very, very, very important. And then go through the instructions if you have the red line instructions for the WEBER stuff. Go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Do what it says. This thing has never ran better. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give it one full pump of the gas. And make sure it's in neutral. And there we go. Runs like a top. Still have a lifter or an exhaust leak over here somewhere that's just not always happy, but it runs really, really, really good. I can't really get y'all to it. This is the idle air screw, and then over here on the bottom is your mixture screw. And I can say this, I told you guys I was a big Holley guy, and I still am, but that other Holley's messed up, and it would never ran this good. This thing runs so awesome now. So I still have to put on the air cleaner and whatnot. But let's do what we haven't done in this whole series of with the Jeep. Let's go for a little ride. Here we go, guys. There is no hesitation. There's no bucking. There's no dead spot. Driving like it's almost a new vehicle. I do need to get some gas, so that's where I'm gonna go. All right, got a little gas in it. Got some gas in it. It's a total different Jeep. Second gear launch. But it drives pretty good. Fifth gear, not a problem. Oh, just lost my filter box. How goes that?
I'm never buying a rusty vehicle again.
Never. Never. This is your public service announcement. If you live in Texas, don't buy a vehicle from up north and bring it down to Texas. It's a bad idea. And then we're fixing it. We have cut a AC hole in the Typhoon. And we were going to get to fixing that another time, but Greg is down there inspecting the body mount that is going to need some work. So we're going to be learning how to do that trial by fire. Literally, because I think we're going to have to buy a plasma cutter. Next on the list of things. But we got a lot of stuff done. The good news is the CJ7 is running excellent. It runs so good. I cannot believe how well it runs. That WEBER Carb was the trick. Thanks to Billy for recommending that. I couldn't be happier with how that's working. So this is off my plate. Thank God we can start driving around, enjoying it, all that kind of fun stuff. We're going to be moving on to working on the Typhoon as Greg de-rustifies it. What are you doing? That's wild. Are you through the other side?
I don't know.
Not quite, no.
I'm knocking on it though.
Yeah. Man.
Damn, look at all that comes out.
Woo-wee. Yeah, there's some rust going on there. We'll knock it out though. We've got some rivets to drill out or cut out. We got to figure out how we're going to do that. But Typhoon's going to be on the to-do list, especially now that we got that piece cut out. Gramps is getting ready to go get motor and trans in soon. We got the firewall all cleaned up. Greg has all the mounts in place. He has the transmission cross member in place. Has the 4.8 liter ready to go in with our oil returns for the turbos. And I think I told you guys we put the cam in it and did all the heads and all the bearings and all that kind of fun stuff. So, yeah, pretty productive last couple days. This video may be all over the place, but I'm glad we got a lot done, and I'm sorry if I didn't capture everything. All right, with that said, as you can tell, we have a lot of stuff going on. We've got a lot of projects, big projects, fun projects, Fred, and don't worry about him. And yeah, we'd love to have you come hang out with us. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you. If you already are subscribed, thank you guys so much. I think I said it last time. I think like 90% of the people that watch the channel don't subscribe. It's free. If you like this stuff, you like anything we've done, something's been helpful, please consider subscribing. Other than that, you can check us out on Instagram and Facebook at The RacerX Garage, and a little bit of merch on racerxgarage.com. And I'm done. I hope you're done too. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time. Until next time, y'all be